What's going on, lads and lassies? It's Ocean from the South Stand back again with another video. And today we're going to be jumping right into the Sunderland versus Aston Villa preview for this weekend. We're back at the Stadium of Light, folks. It feels good to be home again. And you know what? There's something about the Stadium of Light that makes any Sunderland fan feel optimistic against any opponent at the minute. We just feel like it's our place, it's our palace, it's our fortress. Come ahead, come ahead. That's how it feels to go into another game at the Stadium of Light. At least that's how I feel anyway. If you feel the same, feel free to drop a like in this video, subscribe. We're going to be covering Sunderland all season long. Try to build a little community, get people talking about Sunderland in a positive way anyway. And if you've been enjoying the videos, please feel free to subscribe, comment down below, like the video, all that good stuff. And as always, this video is brought to you by the southstandclothing.com. Head there for any of your Sunderland fan wear, merch, all the stuff below. I'll stick a little video and some pictures or something up here so you can see all the stuff we've got to offer, including this little Away the Lads t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. So look, folks, let's just jump right into things. We are heading back into another game at the Stadium of Light against a pretty low in confidence Aston Villa team. You're looking at a team that's now picked up You're looking at a team that's picked up 2 points in their first 4 games. And if we'd have spoken about Villa pre-season and coming up against an Aston Villa team next year, how do you feel? Villa would have been one of the teams that I'd go, oh God, Villa, good team, good team, good team. And look, that's not really changed, but there's something different about this Villa team right now. There's something missing, like a little bit of that bite, a little bit of that clinicalness. Going up against Villa last season, you would have felt like the second we give them an opportunity, they will pounce, because that's what Villa do. They were clinical, they were able to get the job done. And so far this season, we've just not seen that in the final third. You're still looking at a Villa team that's good in defence and they're solid defensively, but it's not the team that we've been used to in terms of going forward. I mean, the first 4 games, we're talking about a team that's had 2 or 3 chances on goal the whole game. And we're Robin Roofs in it, a half back him to be able to get there. But look, as always, it's a Villa team with quality. No matter what, you can't underestimate them just after their 4 games that they've had this season. So we'll talk about their last lineup. I know they've got some injuries at the minute, so I'll be intrigued to see if this is the lineup we face at the weekend. But in terms of the lineup last weekend and their 0-0 draw to Everton, especially away from home to Everton, this was how they lined up. So the typical 4-2-3-1, Digne left back, Mings and Konsa as the centre halves, Matty Cash on the right, Tielemans and Bogart in the middle, Begin, Rogers and Buendia, followed up by Watkins up top. So all them names, players, people that on their day can get the best of you. And I think more than anything, I'm actually kind of laughing because since I've seen Noah Siddiqui, partially in my head, apart from the fact that he's like Kante and covers every blade of grass, he kind of reminds me of John McGinn, that short, stocky, like bulldog player who's just afraid of nothing. I love those type of players, and obviously being Scottish, I do love John McGinn. So I've always laughed about that when I've seen Noah Siddiqui. So the fact we're getting to see the two of them up against each other again this week, I think there's lots to be excited about with this game. And I think there's lots to be excited about because we're a Sunderland team who have won their first 2 games at home this season and won them. I mean, we looked good. We looked, even against, there'll be a lot of people that said, oh, Brentford, unlucky against Brentford, or sorry, Brentford were unlucky against us because of certain decisions or anything. But I honestly don't feel at any point in those 2 games that we've played at home that we haven't looked every piece Premier League competition. And I think after that game last week against Palace as well, I feel fairly confident coming into this one against Villa. Not that I'm going to overshot them by any means, but the fact that they haven't scored a single goal in 4 games, I would be worried about that if I was a Villa fan. There just seems to be something missing, like a certain element of like toothlessness in attack. And against a Sunderland team have really came into their own, been able to defend compact, defend well in the box. I feel like Sunderland have got a decent chance up against us. Now look, I am filming this at the start of the week, so currently at this minute in time, I've not been able to see any update on Enzo Lefebvre's situation. So if you're watching this come the weekend, you'll know more than me by now on what that situation looks like. But from a Sunderland perspective, I would be starting Enzo Lefebvre if we get the chance to start him in this game. I don't mind keeping Wilson up top. I don't think that Wilson was really given realistically a massive opportunity against Pals because the balls just weren't getting fed through to him like that. But I think up at it, but I think it's Sunderland at home. We'll be a lot more dominant. We'll offer more going forward. I think we will be able to get those finishing touches in there. So, but Wilson can start up from front for me in that aspect. But more than anything, I'd love to see Enzo Lefebvre starting out in that left wing. I think his ability to come through the middle just offers so much in connecting that Sunderland attack together. The fact that he's really everywhere when he plays. And as well, when we played Adingra at left wing last week against Palace, we noticed a complete difference in the way that Ronaldo was able to play as well. Part of that is to do with the fact that we were playing away from home. So there is this little bit of conservatism that's keeping you there, that's keeping the fullbacks back a little bit. But I think at home we'll see a lot of that Ronaldo freedom come back into things, and him getting to go all the way up that left hand side and just run back and forth up those flanks. I think we'll see that again. But that's mainly a thing that is going to happen if Enzo's allowed to play, because he created that space by being able to invert. Adingra can't really invert into the inside because he's not right footed, he's left footed. So therefore it changes the places that Ronaldo can even go in the first place. So for me, if I was to pick a starting lineup, I would be heading into things with almost the same starting lineup that we did have against Brentford at home. I think if anything, if there was one thing left to tweak, I'd probably start Adingra on that right hand side. Now, I'm not sure how comfortable he is actually playing on that right hand side, but I honestly think giving him the chance to invert on that left foot, being able to get a crack at goal, I think we'll see a little bit more out of him over there. And if Enzo Lefebvre is able to start in the left wing, sorted. And we know that Bridge Lebree did say as well that Dan Ballard should be back around the time of the Aston Villa game. Again, if you're watching this at the end of the week, I'm recording this on Monday, you'll know more than me in terms of if he is actually going to be properly back for Aston Villa. Even then, I don't think we should rush him back. He's a lad that's had his fair share of injuries over the last couple of years. So whilst we've got the quality, whilst we've got the depth, we don't necessarily need to rush Dan Ballard back. Although he does offer Sunderland so much through his headed abilities and the fact that he can get on the end of things on corners and stuff. But look, for me, if this was the lineup, if I was to choose the lineup, this is the lineup I would go for. Granted, everyone actually needs to be fit for this lineup, but left back Ronaldo, then Alderete and Mookie Elliott following in the centre halves, and then Trey Hume playing at right back as well. Then going into Granit Xhaka, single pivot, Siddiqui and Diarra in the middle, Enzo Lefebvre in the left, Adingra on the right, and Wilson up front. That is how I would line up. I think it offers Sunderland the best chance of continuity from the last game and just building on what we've already got. I just don't think that Trey Hume's got the right to be dropped so far yet for another replacement right back. I think those lads can earn their way in through the minutes they'll get at the end of games and stuff, because he's not really putting a foot wrong at the minute. And I think as well that offers Sunderland the chance. If you watch my last video, you'll understand the little bits that I felt were missing in attack last week against Crystal Palace. But at home, it's a different beast. I think Sunderland play with so much confidence in front of the stadium-like crowd. I think this is a chance for us to go and get another 3 points on the board here against an Aston Villa team that just don't seem able to get the ball in the back of the net. Look, score predictions. What do I think, or what am I going to put down as my score prediction in this one? For me, 2-1 Sunderland. I wanted, honest to God, part of me did actually want to say 2-0, and I don't want to come across big-headed in a sense. I don't want any Villa fans maybe watching us to think that as a Sunderland fan, we're getting ahead of ourselves 4 games in. I just think that Villa don't seem to have that Villa piece of them going forward completely yet, but they've got enough. They've got to go off the line. They've got to go off the mark at some point. They've got to score a goal at some point. But I just think that Sunderland will believe they can win it, and they will win it. I just think that Sunderland will be able to get the job done at home. I think, not to keep harping on about it, but the fact that we play until the very last minute, I don't see Villa being able to go 4 games 4 games with no goals and then score 2 this game. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do believe Sunderland can score 2. So I'm going to settle on 2-1 Sunderland for the prediction. I think, can you believe it? Would you imagine we'll be on 10 points after 5 games? We've all probably heard it by now, but there's that whole fact of, if you've got 11 points, no team's ever been relegated with 11 points after 10 games. The fact that we could have possibly 10 points after 5 games. Come on. That's so good. It's so good. Anyway, look, this is a bit of a shorter video. I've been putting a lot more into the previews, so if you've been enjoying them, please leave a little like, a thumbs up, whatever you want to do. Get involved in the comments below. I think don't underestimate how hard working and hard to break down an Unai Emery team is. But we can do it at home. That's what it's given me there. It's the fact that it's a stadium of light. It's the energy around Sunderland right now when it's a match day. You're just not going to beat that. And I think we've got a real chance here to really build on this season, because you get a lot of people in this kind of YouTube commentary space or whatever right now saying, oh, Sunderland have got off to a good start, but they had the easiest start. You have to beat what's in front of you. And when it comes to December time, when everyone's claiming we'll falter through AFCON, then you've got to expect us to pick up points elsewhere. And we're doing a good job. Like, if people are saying these are the games we should win, then we're doing a really good job being able to overcome that pressure and then win them. Because fans of opposition teams can say that we've had the easiest starts, but that's not guaranteeing them a win when they play these teams either. They're not going to guarantee a point against Palace and 3 points against Brentford. So Sunderland just need to keep cracking on with what they're doing, picking up as many points as we can at home, and picking up points with a team like Villa. If you play them in 6 months' time, we don't know if we're going to get this Villa right now or the team we had last 2 or 3 years. So take advantage of this Villa with them not quite clicking yet, and getting amongst it, boys. But anyway, that is my prediction. I'm going to go in with a 2-1 Sunderland win. This one isn't as in depth, I guess, as I would normally go for, but yeah, that's what I'm going for. It's 2-1 Sunderland win. I think right now Villa are kind of speaking for themselves in that matter. So that's all for the day, folks. As always, this one was brought to you by the southstandclothing.com. Go and check it out for all sorts of Sunderland fanwear, bits and bobs. You can see we've got the Regis Labrie shirt right here. We've got our Black Cat South Stand cap right there. We've got so much more. We've got them and so much more available at the southstandclothing.com as always, folks. I'll see you in the next one. How are the lads? Come on.